Hi everyone, my name is Terry and welcome to my channel, The Pink Dumbbell Problem. This is an episode in the Friday Fact Day series where I get to talk about my work in fitness, feminism, and philosophy. And today's fact is: the biggest mistake beginner exercisers make. Now, there's a lot of contenders for this one, but I'm going to tell you which one I think it is right now. If I had to look back over the last 15 years since I started teaching fitness, and I had to pick one thing that is a mistake beginners make, it is this: trying to learn too many things the first time in the gym. You thought I was going to say deadlifts, didn't you? I think there's a couple of things going on here. Some of it is probably just regular anxiety. You're in a new facility, you don't know the people, you don't know the equipment, you don't know what to do. And so perhaps just out of nervousness, people do that. There's a lot of different anxiety reactions that we trainers see when brand new people come into the gym, or even experienced exercisers come into a new space. And as our training in the fitness industry is evolving, we are getting some training on that now. We didn't back in my day originally, but now that's part of what we learn. The second reason I think this happens is because in a lot of gyms, at least any reputable ones, you get a few visits that are free before you buy. And quite often there's either a mandatory or at least strongly recommended orientation with a trainer or somebody from the staff. Now, if you haven't taken that safety orientation, go back and do that, because you're going to learn a lot of new stuff. Even if you're a trainer yourself, there's still always something new to learn in a different gym. I think that with the economic climate, especially post-COVID, a lot of us aren't back to work. Even trainers, we're not all back to work full-time in many cases. That there's a lot of pressure of, I have to learn it all now while the trainer is still free, because the price point of hiring them to teach me this stuff later is out of reach right now. What we ultimately need is more socialized access to fitness space. And sure, there's plenty of outdoor spaces, but that's not the same as coming into a center and working out in a safer environment where there's people there who can help you out. We also need more socialized access to those people like me who are exercise educators that can actually focus on the education side. There's an old rule that goes around in the adult ed circles every so often. I've been hearing it for almost as long as I've been working in adult education in some form or another. And that is the 5-item rule. And I say rule very loosely because it's not really a rule at all. It's a guideline at best. The 5-item rule is the idea that people can basically learn 5 things in any given learning session, plus or minus 2. So some people will max out at 3, some people can do as many as 7, but most people are going to hit saturation at about 5 items of things to learn. And the problem with fitness is there's so much to learn. So we come into this, even as basic trainers who, the ink is just dried on our exams yesterday, with a ton of information that somebody from the general public who's never exercised before will never have heard of. And by the way, I've mentioned sometimes we just geek out about this stuff. So, if a trainer's overwhelming you with information, just tell them, hey, hold back. I need time for this to process in my brain. Let this percolate for a bit. The problem is that exercises are so complicated. They might look easy from the outside looking in, but once you know what we know, even again, the most basic level, freshly minted trainer knows, is that there's a million points of information for any given exercise, even the easiest looking ones. Forget about learning 5 or 7 exercises. Most people learn one exercise because there's at least 5 or 7 things to learn in that one exercise. And some people are just blessed with really good mind-body connection and they can do it just by looking at us. But those people are pretty rare. I think what happens in a lot of cases is people still believe in the dumb jock stereotype. We get that from pop culture in particular. Any TV show or movie that sets up the jocks versus nerds dichotomy will tell you that the jocks are dumb, right? They're the gym rats. They're the meatheads and they're lifting heavy all the time. So what I see all the time is that people who are intelligent, particularly well educated, come into the gym and they think, oh my God, if the dumb jocks can do this and I can't do this, I'm dumber than the dumb jocks. So I want to absolutely, unequivocally bust that myth right now, forever, I hope. A lot of athletic people are extremely intelligent. Sure, there's dumb people that come into the gym. Trust me, I make my living off of teaching them how to use the safety latches on the bench press. But really, I don't like calling anybody dumb. There's people who have varying levels of intelligence, of education, of experience in life. And some people have a really good mind-body connection. They seem to be born with it. They've probably cultivated it since they were very small children. And they seem to be able to just walk into a gym, take one look at what the trainer's doing, and repeat it perfectly. But for us trainers, it's usually not so perfect. We know what we're looking for, and we see all kinds of errors that we want to go in and correct later. And of course, like so many things in fitness and in my work in particular, there is an intersection with gender here. I can't tell you how many times I have met women in the gym who come in and say, oh, I'm so dumb. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. Like, I've heard them all those really negative self-talk kind of things. Interestingly, I've also heard that from women who are doing an excellent job of every exercise they do. It's really amazing to see that play out, that they can do an absolutely perfect push-up and insist it was the worst push-up that's ever been done in the history of the earth. Those ideas are still around, that girls can't run properly, or that we can't do push-ups properly, or pull-ups, or whatever. I did a video on girl push-ups a few months ago, so I'll stick a link to that down below. They're not dumb at all about fitness stuff. They're actually quite brilliant at it. But our society has taught us over the years, and again, this is things like phys ed classes in school, this is how you're raised in your community, in your family, what your beliefs are, what education you got, and of course pop culture, have all conflated to teach us that women aren't any good at this stuff. So here's the thing. If you are going into the gym and you're feeling overwhelmed with information, first of all, you can always tell your trainer, back off, I need a little less information so some of this stuff settles. But you can also rest assured you're not dumb. Even those of us that are certified trainers still spend our entire careers learning more and studying more of this stuff. You're not dumb if you don't know how to do a bicep curl. You're not dumb if you don't know how to do a squat. I assure you, the vast majority of people do not do a squat correctly. Forget the first time, the first 100 times. And you know what? There's probably going to be some exercises you never quite get right. Maybe you don't hit upon the right explanation. Maybe there's something in your mobility that's getting in the way. Whatever. Not every exercise has to be perfect. It has to be safe, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So there you go, folks. I don't know if this one was a Friday Fact Day or a pep talk, but regardless, don't overwhelm yourself. Tell your trainer if they're giving you too much information to back off and let you digest some of that first. And don't feel stupid if you can't learn something. You're not stupid, you're just inexperienced, and maybe you haven't had exposure to this information before. You didn't learn to tie your shoes exactly perfectly the first time you tried it when you were 4 or 5 years old. You're not going to learn to deadlift perfectly the first try either. Nobody does. And if anybody tries to tell you that they did, they're full of you-know-what. So there you are, folks. You're smarter than you thought. Nobody's really dumb in the gym. It just takes some practice and some patience. And as I always say, lift heavy, fight the patriarchy, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.